Most artists struggle just to get a few thousand streams on their songs, but in this video, I'm going to share with you how I took a song that was only getting a couple hundred streams a day and how we scaled it and got over 100,000 streams in under 100 days. My man John Gold from Hypeddit interviewed me and picked my brain, and so we're giving you every single little bit of this strategy that you can have for free. This is the playbook from 0 to 100,000 streams. Enjoy.
Chris, so good to have you on here. Absolutely pumped having you connect with me on Zoom here. 100,000 streams in 100 days. That is just fantastic. Congratulations. And I'm dying to hear more about what you've been doing. And I'm sure a lot of our viewers do too. So welcome again. Give me a little bit of an overview. 100,000 streams in 100 days, just using ads powered by Hypeddit. How do you do it?
Yeah, well, thank you for creating the software, dude, and making it just so easy to set up ads. And that whole option where you can promote a playlist has just been a game changer. And so, of course, I couldn't just create one playlist. We created 3 different playlists, and I was running a lot of different ads to them, and I had all my catalog on there. Some of them were hip-hop songs. So one was a hip-hop playlist, one was a rock playlist, and then one was like a Christian rock playlist. And one of the ones that we promoted, I think, had like over 60,000. The other one had like 20 something, and then the other one had 15. And so right now it's about over 100,000 streams. And we started this at the end of August. And so it's funny, we were chatting because we were talking about this, and I didn't even know. And so I went into my artists dashboard and I went under playlists and in the last 12 months, so it would show me the data, and I didn't realize we had gotten that many streams. And what's so cool is, like, you know, and why it's so much better that way is because if I just went to the song, I wouldn't get a fraction of that many streams. But because I went to the playlist, like even some of those songs that are like number 80 in the playlist, they're getting streams. So it's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, I love it. I'm a huge fan of sending promotion traffic to playlists, no matter whether it's from ads or from other sources, because these playlists are such great multipliers of listeners to streams. I'm curious, when you use, it sounds like you're using a curated playlist where not all of the music on the playlist is yours. So you have other music on it, and then you have some of your songs on it. What's the ratio that you use there? How much of your own music do you put on these playlists?
Yeah, I used to run it to my own playlist, that my This Is Manifest, and that's fine and that works, but like I think there's something like psychologically different when you say, hey, check out this playlist, this rock playlist or this classical playlist, as opposed to my playlist. You know what I mean? It's like recommending a movie or a restaurant. Like, oh, you gotta go eat here, versus come eat at my restaurant. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so I found that like promoting a genre-based playlist, it's a softer sell, and it's like being more cool and more recommending. But as far as the songs, normally whatever songs I'm running in the ads when I set it up and hyped it, I normally have those songs in the top 3, like my songs. And then I normally have 4 to 5 other artists, and then another like 2 of my songs or 1 of my songs, then another 4 or 5, and then 2 of my songs. And I fill up the playlist that way.
And how many tracks do you have on the playlist in total? Is there a specific number you go for?
Anywhere between 80 and 100. And what I tell some of my students is like, if you don't have a big catalog, then like once it gets down to like the 50th or 60th song, put your best song in again. Like it's okay to have it twice.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Why not, you know?
Yeah, no, I love it.
Yeah.
Now, one of the benefits of building a playlist like this is the fact that you can actually monetize it and use it as an opportunity to fund some of the ad activities. So I have a lot of conversations with music artists who are frustrated that streaming revenue is small. I mean, you know, it adds up obviously the more streams you get, but the fact that you're only getting fractions of pennies for a stream, and the fact that it costs more to acquire a listener using ads, has a lot of music artists thinking about the ROI on ads. And I don't think it's easy to make a return on an ad budget financially. The return obviously is in the listener base, the fan base, the streams you're getting, the exposure, and the profile that you're building overall as an artist. But in terms of putting $1 in and taking $1 out in terms of royalties, that's a really hard thing to do. But playlists make this a little bit easier if this is something that you can now monetize as a curator. So is this something that you do? And talk me through what you're doing with these playlists.
Yeah, and I think that like artists need to remember too, like no one's telling you to quit your job, right now to do music full time. And like when I look back at, I'm dating myself, 2001, 23 years ago when I released my first EP, like I wasn't trying to, like obviously I wanted to sell CDs or whatever, but it was just getting my music out there. And I think that we're putting the cart before the horse too quickly. Like I want to make money. It's like, go make money at your job and take all that money and dump it into your music. Don't just burn it and waste it. But like, no, there's not going to be an ROI right away, but you're building a business right now. And streaming, what is so rad is that like once you hit a certain threshold, like when in one of my campaigns, we paid for 1,000 streams. And I know I paid for all of it. Like I drove the traffic. But then after about a month, I saw another 1,000 streams the next month come from Discover Weekly and radio and all those algorithmic playlists. And so all of a sudden now I'm not like paying as much, right? And now Spotify is working for us. And I just can't say the benefits of streaming because it's been life-changing for me. Like I was a touring musician and the only way I could make money was touring. Like we had signed with the label and they would sell us CDs, but that was like nothing. I had to survive on the road. But now that I own my own music and the streaming revenue I get is honestly, it's changed my life. So, but I get it for artists that are small. It's just that you just haven't gotten enough streams yet. And I just want to encourage them that it can happen. But to answer your question about the curating thing, like I used to hate on it, right? Like I didn't know about like I was always the artist pitching my songs to either editorial playlists or indie playlists. And I didn't know you could become a curator. I would have done this years ago. But like, you got Playlist Push, Submit Hub, and all these different legit places where you pay to get your music reviewed, which is legit. And if someone likes your song, then they add it. And so now I'm in that position where I'm listening to a lot of artist songs that want to be added to my playlist. And so I'm getting paid. And I'll just be honest, like it's work too. And it took a while to get there. It took me longer than I thought it would. It took more work, but now I'm there and now it's paying for like almost half of my budget some days not. Some days it's covering about half of my budget to promote my own music, which is beautiful.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, man.
And is that the reason why you're replicating it and you launch one playlist and then another one and then another one?
Well, yeah, that's the interesting thing too, is that like one playlist was easier to promote, which I was actually surprised. My Christian hip hop one, for whatever reason, the song that I had, it just took off, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And so the playlist saves I hit the 1,000 threshold quick because that's what you need for most of these companies to even become eligible. And my new metal one, my hard rock one, it wasn't like growing as fast. But what's interesting is that's the one where I get way more submissions. So technically I make more money off of that niche, so to speak. So it depends on which niche you're in as well too, right? Because like, who's promoting their music and how much of a demand there is. So I probably should have just made it a hip hop one, not Christian hip hop. So maybe I'll change it one day and then just, for other artists, or I'll just make a regular hip hop one.
Yeah. And what's the vision? So going forward in time, like 2-3 years, where do you want to be with those playlists? What's the vision? What's the structure, the system, the business you're building?
Yeah. So one of them has like 3,000 saves. The other one has almost 2,000 followers, saves, whatever. And so, I want to see those over 10,000. And so I'm growing it to promote my music. Like the real end game here isn't to become a curator. That's not really what I'm trying to do, even though that has been amazing. And I'm meeting dope artists that I've never heard of. And so there's collaboration opportunities and cool things that like, dang, like this is great. Like I'm also seeing, this is how labels are doing it and meeting people and stuff, right? So there's some real cool networking opportunities. So I'm staying in it. So I'm committed there. But what's so dope is that when I have a new song come out, because I'm constantly promoting these playlists 24/7. When I have a new song, that goes to the top of the playlist. So instantly when I have a new song come out, I'm getting streams from that. And so that gives the song, an extra boost on release day. So it's become an asset that I control, right? And because people are following it and whatnot, like they continue to listen to that and I keep the playlist fresh. etc. So it's really cool, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, congratulations. Clearly, you have cracked the code on using Facebook and Instagram ads in order to grow these playlists, grow these assets, and expose your music at the same time. What I'd love to do is get a little bit tactical, because we might have artists in the audience who watch this and wonder, Chris, how are you actually setting up these campaigns? What are you doing?
Right.
So I'd love to know, if you guys go into Hypeddit, when do you launch campaigns? When do you even start promoting one of your campaign relative to, like, let's say the song coming out? I'm just curious how this all fits into your promotion mix.
Yeah, so I want to encourage artists, whether you have a new song or old songs, like, what's crazy is it was a 2-year-old song that I used to promote this new playlist, okay? So it's not always about new, even though we like new. And to be honest, like, you know, when I tried doing a new campaign for a new song, it didn't perform as well as the other one. So, like, sometimes I'll just continue to use an older song because that's just what's working. I'll always still try something new, but then I'll just put that new song near the top still, because I want to. Sometimes it takes a while for a song to connect. It just does. I always use Hypeddit to set up the campaign, and we always do the follow playlist thing that you set up, and I plug that in. And then I always have 2 ads. And what I mean by that is I normally have 2 video creatives that I start, because, like, the way Hypeddit sets it up is you help with the targeting, get all the ads, and then that way there's 2 ads for Facebook to work with, because one is always going to outperform the other. And if I just got one, I'm only giving Facebook one chance. Like, one of those videos could outperform the other one, and it could cost me like half the cost. So I could get like 10 times more listeners for half the price, right? And so that's why I always even tell my students, like, you got to do at least 2 ads when you set it up with Hypeddit.
Yes. And when you say 2 ads, you're talking about 2 campaigns? So you're literally launching 2 separate campaigns?
No, like when inside Hypeddit, when it comes time to create the ad, and then I click on that upload button, and then I drag in 2 videos so that
2 creatives. Yes.
2 creatives.
Gotcha.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome. And what do you usually find the winning creatives to look like for you?
It depends, man. Sometimes it surprises me. Like, normally videos always work good. Sometimes I've had it where, just when it comes to the playlist, sometimes if the playlist cover is dope, then just the playlist cover with the song behind it has worked well. Other times, a performance where it's punched into right where the hook is, or the most catchiest part. I find that has done the best out of all the campaigns, because the social proof, like, has been insane, where I've literally had dozens and dozens of comments of, what's the name of this song? Who is this singing? What's the name of this song? Where it's just the playlist cover, even though it's gotten good conversions, the social proof aspect hasn't resonated like having, like, where people connect to the artist and the song as much, because not only did we get, because we got all that social proof, then we saw a big uplift in YouTube. We saw a big uplift in Shazams. And I didn't get that when I just used the cover. So there's something about the artist performing the song and connecting with it is a bigger investment. But sometimes it's finding that right part of the song and the right video. And that's why, you know, I always say post on social media to try and find those winning ideas.
Let's talk about that a little bit longer. So first of all, when you're talking about the winning footage, I understand this is live footage. This is concert footage that was recorded of you performing live on stage. Is that right?
It could be a music video, and that's what it actually was. It was just a snippet of a music video, or it could be just something I filmed here performing the song, or, you know, behind with the sunset. So definitely not necessarily live. It could just be where we're walking down the street, just, you know, shooting content wherever for social media. And I like to take the winners that did well organically, and I normally test those as ads, because it's like, okay, if it worked well on TikTok or Instagram Reels, etc., that's a good sign this is going to work well as an ad.
Yeah, so that is brilliant. So before you launch the campaign, you post some of that content on social media, you watch the views, the likes, the comments, altogether the engagement, and then you find which post related to that song performed the best, and that is what you're using then to run the ads.
Exactly. That way, it's like putting my best foot forward. So I'm not guessing.
Yes.
Otherwise, we're just guessing, right? And it's just like, I don't want to just burn money. It's like that's what social media is for. It's like that's your testing ground. Like, let's test it for free, see what organically it likes, because literally it's kind of like, okay, well, if that works, well, that's the one you should boost technically, but instead of just boosting it, let's run ads with Hypeddit to a playlist.
Yeah, I love it. That's great. And what are you doing in terms of the copy, the text on top of and below the video or image that you're running?
Very simple. Like, check out this rock playlist. Check out this Christian hip hop playlist. Check out this, listen to this song on this playlist. Like, very short, to the point. And that's in the primary text at the top. And then there's the headline. And then normally in the headline, I normally just put the name of the song. So Teardrops by Manifest or Silent Beast by Manifest. And then you got the listen now button that you got it set up as. And yeah, just keep it very simple.
I love it. Yeah. Simple, easy, short, so people can react to it quickly.
Yeah, let the song do the selling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice. Love it. So, okay, so now we got an idea of what the creative looks like that you're putting out there. We talked about the song, we talked about the video, how you're testing it. Now let's talk about how are we getting this in front of the right audience. Let's talk about the countries that you love when you run these campaigns. And let's talk about the interest targeting that you like in order to help Facebook and Instagram find the right people. What do you do in that area? Hey, interrupting myself real quick to tell you about a special giveaway for my subscribers. I'm the author of the Spotify Growth Switch, a crash course to help music artists grow real listeners, real streams, and real fans on Spotify in under 10 minutes with music ads put on autopilot. I'm giving away 10 full scholarships to the Spotify Growth Switch so more artists can join for free. If that sounds like something you'd benefit from, just make sure you subscribe to my channel. It takes just one click, and now back to the video.
Well, I think it's wise to, run when you're first starting the campaigns. I would start it in the countries like the tier 2, tier 3, because that's going to be cheaper. And it's like, since we're testing, let's figure out what ads are working and let's burn less money, because it costs a lot more to target United States, Canada, etc. But it's a lot cheaper for those other countries. So I like to start there first and make sure I've got a winning ad and I'm getting a good engagement click, which for me, I want less than 40 cents. Where in the second tier and third tier, I like 10 cents to 15 cents is good. And everyone's going to be different. Some people can beat that. Some people are getting 7 cents. Like, it's crazy depending on how good the ad is. And the other thing is, you got to let it run, man. Stop touching and editing things. Let it run for a few days. But I let things run. And then the thing is, Facebook is always going to try and get you the cheapest conversions and the cheapest clicks. And so sometimes you can target all these countries, but you're not getting any spend there because the other countries are swallowing up all that budget. So if I want a specific country, then I'll go back into Hypeddit and I'll just run a campaign to that country if I want to force the spend there. And so that's how we mess around with that. As far as the targeting, I love Hypeddit. It lets you choose different artists and then it generates the different other artists for targeting. And then depending on what genre you're in, it'll like select hip hop or rock, fans that listen to that. Mm-hmm. And I just let it do its thing there. Obviously, the broader, the better. And like, Facebook's algorithm is just so smart. Like, after it's spent a little bit of budget, it narrows in and puts your ad in front of the right people. So I feel like targeting is going to be less and less important as the algorithm gets smarter, Yes, I agree. Do you ever run more than one campaign to cover a wider field in terms of targeting? Yeah, eventually we'll start duplicating ad sets and so let's say we start at $10 a day, bump that one up to 15 or 20 in a certain country or whatever. And then it's like, okay, this is working, or these certain ads are working. Okay, I'll duplicate that and I'll put $20 right away per day just to the United States and Canada, right? And then, maybe I'll do a specific country and do that again, right? And kind of scale horizontally. I like to tell artists as well too, is like, if you're touring, you definitely want to put some budget wherever you're going to be playing live, because that's where you're going to be able to get some of the best ROI, because now people can come live and come and buy your merch.
Yes. Yeah. Awesome. So we talked about launching the ad. We talked about setting up the ad. You talked about budget a little bit. Actually, where do you start in terms of budget? When you launch a new campaign, where do you start and where do you go to?
Well, I think you need to start, I know it's set up automatically. What is it, like $8 a day US, $7, $6, something?
In the US is 5, yeah?
Yeah, I think $10 is really, like, give Facebook some money to work with. You know what I mean? You know, $10 a day, that's what, $300 a month, 30 days about, you know, it is good because, like, you know, you want it to give it some budget to learn faster, you know. I don't think you need to start with 20 or 30. You can end up burning money quicker. It's wise. Even if I scale up to 100 or 150 or more, which we've done, if I do that too quick, then you end up just burning the money. So it's good to start slow, to force Facebook to give you those cheaper conversions, you know, and scale up incrementally.
Yeah. How do you identify a campaign worth scaling? Like, what triggers that? All right, let's increase the budget on this campaign.
Well, you got to be watching your, like, obviously there's the engagement clicks, which you can see, right? But at the end of the day, like, go look at your streams in your artist.spotify dashboard. Are those streams going up, especially of that first or second song on the playlist, right? And are you getting more saves? Are you getting more playlist ads? And it's interesting, like, because some of the songs we promoted, I've already been getting like thousands of streams a day, but just because of the algorithm and the song's been out a while. But it's interesting, right? When I turn on ads, all of a sudden you really see the playlist ads just jump, or the saves just jump immediately. So you want to be watching that. And then are you getting comments on the ads? Make sure you're responding to those. So those are the main signs. Because that's really all that matters at the end of the day. Are you getting streams?
Yes. And when you scale, do you, like, what are the increments? How do you scale?
So if I'm starting at 10, then 20, then 40, 60, you know, but like normally it's not just adding budget to the one ad, especially depending on how many countries you selected. I normally like to scale with countries and keep them separate so I can force the spend in that country, force a certain amount of spend in that country, and kind of broaden it out, you know, so I can really see what is happening. Because the only problem with when you're targeting all those countries, unless you're an ad ninja and you know what you're doing in Ads Manager and you're breaking down and seeing where it's spent, you're getting into the weeds, and we want to keep it simple, right?
Yeah. So, but that's interesting. So rather than just increasing the budget on the single campaign, what you're doing is you're duplicating this campaign and then you're differentiating them by country targeting, for example. So you'll have one instance of the campaign goes only to the US, another one goes only to maybe tier 3 countries on the other end. And then you manage the budget of the individual instances of that campaign. Is that right?
Yeah. And it's important. This is advanced, but like I also go into actual Ads Manager and whatever the ad that's winning, I change all the ads over with the same post ID to make sure that all the social proof is on the one ad.
Yes.
Because otherwise it's a lot harder to scale, because now you've got all these different ads that are almost like different ads and they all don't have all the social proof on them. So when it comes time to scale, it's important. And that's just easy to go into Ads Manager, edit the ad, change the post to the one that has all the social proof on it.
Yeah. Brilliant. I love it. Now, let's talk about the lifetime then of a campaign. So we've talked about how to create it, how to launch it, what you're doing with the budget. When does a campaign reach the end of the life cycle? Is there a certain rule when you turn it off, you spin up something new? Do you let it run? Like, how do those campaigns live over time?
Well, some of them I'm still running for the last 3 months, right? Like I just haven't turned them off. And like, I'm looking at one of them and it has 6,000 Hypeddit smart links. The other one has 7,000. So it's just still going. It's got one of them's got 1.1 million views on it. Other one's got like, it's crazy. So and it's still going. I ain't turning it off. You know, if I've burnt out a country, maybe I'll take that same ad and I'll run it to a different country or something like that. But it's a big world, right? And if something's working, it's like, I'm not turning it off.
Yeah, I love it. That's how I'm running a lot of ads for my own music if I love having these evergreens, and there are always some songs that just continue to perform, and they might not be the newest songs, they might be older ones, and some newer songs that I'm really hopeful about, they don't get there. But always having like a few sort of evergreens running seems to be like a really good strategy to constantly accelerate the audience growth and get new listeners and streams in the door constantly. So I love that. Chris, amazing. I mean, thank you so much for walking us through this. Obviously, you are, an amazingly talented musician. You're a crack at music promotion, a crack at Facebook ads. And so how can artists learn more from you? I know you have a new offer out right now, and so it's called the new song launch checklist. We're going to show it here on the screen, but let us know a little bit about it.
Yeah, so we have a book bundle, right? It comes with the ebook, the audio book. It's a digital thing, and it comes with training as well too. And I think it's like, we have it priced anywhere between like $5 and $7, depending on when you go to get it. And it really just walks you through all the things for promoting a song, like the pre-launch phase, the day of phase, and then the post-launch. Like I like to say, like, don't start ads unless you're going to commit to 30 to 90 days, right? Because like we want a beautiful arc as far as our promotion for Spotify to get enough data points to really trigger that algorithm. And so I go over all the different things for promoting that song within Spotify, with the ads outside of Spotify, to just make sure that that song has the best chance of success. Because like I release a song every 3 to 4 weeks right now, and it's just like, even I'm like, okay, I forgot to upload the canvas, I forgot to submit to Amazon, I forgot to pitch it. Like there's just so many different things that it's important to check off, and it's just like each one that you miss lowers your success, right? So we put that together. And then there's also a coaching program. I meet with artists every week and dig into the weeds more of setting up these ads and whatnot. And Hypeddit is the foundation of that, but then it's going a little deeper inside of the ads and strategy or whatnot. And so once they get the book bundle, they'll get the opportunity to join. It's called Fanbase University. And so that's something if they want a little bit more one-on-one coaching.
Awesome. I appreciate that. Thanks for sharing, Chris. And obviously we're going to put a link to the song launch checklist bundle right below this video. So definitely make sure to check out the link and grab a copy of Chris's bundle, which is at a super affordable and special price right now. So I'm really excited for you sharing that with our audience. And I'm just always absolutely amazed and so fascinated when the same strategies that excite me, ads and using technology to get music in front of diehard fans, work for an artist at a really massive scale. And obviously you've taken this to millions of listeners and tens of millions of streams. The success that you've had with your music is just mind-blowing from my perspective. And so I really appreciate you coming on and sharing some of the amazing insights that you've developed with us.
Yeah, dude, and it is exciting, man. Like a student the other day, his second language is English, right? And he's promoting his music using Hypeddit, and it's just like, he's like, my streams are going up, Chris, people are listening to my music. And it's just like you've made it so easy, dude. Like it's just like in under 5 minutes you can get a campaign going, right? And it's just like it just works. Like it's the easiest possible thing to do, in my opinion, and actually see results. If artists can just not get so hung up on my ROI, like amateurs focus on the front end, professionals focus on the back end, and that's the long term. And that's what labels do. And if we can just put on our business hats for a bit and play for the long term, that's why labels give you an advance, a nice shining advance, because you want the money up front, but they're playing the long game because now they know they're going to own your masters for life, right? And I'll just say, thank God, when I signed a deal, mine was a licensing deal. They just had my masters for a period of time, and then I got my masters back. But if artists could just know that you're valuable, your music is worth something, you've just got to promote it and you got to increase the value of it. You know what I mean? And you've created a tool to make that available, dude. So
I appreciate it, and 100% agree. That's amazing insights. Chris, thank you so much. Cool. This has been amazing. We have to have you back, hopefully soon, and really appreciate being on. Again, link below to Chris's books. Definitely make sure to grab a copy. And Chris, see you soon.
Awesome, dude. Appreciate it, man.
Cheers. With that said, if you like this video, please hit the like, subscribe, and bell buttons below so you don't miss future videos. And if you'd like to discover the exact tool that Chris is using to run his campaigns in Hypeddit, then check out the video above where I literally walk you through this click by click so you can easily set this up for your own music literally in minutes. It really couldn't be easier and it couldn't be faster. Cheers and catch you in the next video.